Welcome back to the layout, everyone. This will be the layout tour for summer of 2022. My HO layout is double level and measures 10 foot by 15 foot with an extension on the second level to represent the interchange with NS. I use a climb wrapping twice around the back side of the layout to get between the two levels in lieu of a helix. I model present-day CSX and Norfolk Southern with a geographical inspiration of North Carolina and Virginia, but the entire layout is freelance. I use Digitrax for the control system. Track is code 100 and turnouts are Pico and Walthers. Although no layout is ever really complete in its construction, I would say my layout is currently around 65% complete in its initial construction. I started building this layout about 5 years ago, with this being my third layout since getting into the hobby some 25 years ago. I went with this sized layout so that it could be moved without having to break it apart. I've tested this once and will hopefully not need to again. Let's get started on a tour of my layout. Operations start here in Harrison Yard on the Charles subdivision. This area provides staging along with yard operations. We are starting at the west end of the yard and will make our way to the east end of the yard where the yard office and engine shop are located. Here, we have a rainstorm rolling in. This main road and residential area borders the east end of Harrison Yard. We catch a pair of SD40s pulling empties over the Tid Creek Bridge. Here, we find a mixed freight running through the town of South Junction. BG Food Distributors is in the background. This facility has 2 stub siding tracks that receive refrigerated boxcars throughout the week. In the foreground, there is a construction company and a retail complex. In this area, there is also a gas station and a maintenance of way yard. This is Laurel Fork. Here, the Charles subdivision meets the Link subdivision on the right. This track is also the path to the second level of the layout. This footage dates back to the early construction of the layout, but shows the climb to reach the second level. A train climbs 2 times around the layout behind the scenery of the first level to reach the second level. Now, on the second level, here we have a road paving scene with an overpass as a scenery divider. This breaks up the scene between the paper plant and the expansive cement plant. We start at the quarry and the bulk loading facility, followed by the silos and the processing plant. The scene ends with 2 large cranes preparing to make a pick. In this unfinished area, this will be the location of Southern Steel, where coil cars and bulkheads will come and go. The SD40-3 in the background is where the climb from the first level comes up to the second. This unfinished area will be the location of 84 Lumber. There will be several outbuildings, a siding for rail traffic, and a large paved area for vehicle traffic in and out. This is the last unfinished area on the second level, the paper plant. The large building is mostly finished, but the industrial area around it still has a lot of work to be completed. The paper plant also sits at the edge of the southern spur, which provides the spur track from CSX to interchange with Norfolk Southern. This spur ducks behind the backdrop and into the extension area. Now, on the coastal division of NS, we start in Jonah Yard, which is a small interchange yard for the Norfolk Southern and CSX. This is Whitman's Feed, a large feed industry that receives covered hoppers and ships out by truck to local farms. This section of the layout is also set up for nighttime operations, with all the buildings and loading areas being lit. The yard and office are also lit for nighttime operations. We will now do a quick walkthrough of each of the levels, starting with the lower level. Now, we are on the second level of the layout. wrap up over at the NS and CSX interchange along with the feed complex. Hi, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Be sure to hit the bell where you'll get notifications whenever I post new videos. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, be sure to leave a comment. I try to respond to everyone's comments. And again, thank you for watching.